The Galactic Summit was held once every 1,000 cycles, and attendance was mandatory for every major species. The grand amphitheater of Wycal Prime was filled with delegates, towering reptilians, crystalline intellects, plasma-bodied ancients, and the newest addition to the council, humanity. Humans, unlike most species, didn't take the seats of honor near the front. They didn't clamor for attention or demand a speaking role. They sat quietly, at the very back of the hall, watching. That had always been their habit, silent observers, learning, adapting. Most of the other delegates considered it a show of weakness. The Zrath Dominion, the self-proclaimed mightiest species in the galaxy, sneered the loudest. Their war banners hung proudly across the chamber, boasting victories that stretched back before humanity even joined the stars. Their emperor himself sat in the front row, claws tapping the edge of his throne. When the first human delegation entered, the Zrath laughed. 5 frail figures, dressed in simple dark uniforms, no armor, no guards. The Zrath leader muttered to his neighbor, loud enough for them to hear, "Let the prey watch from the shadows. It's all they're good for." The humans didn't reply. Their commander, a woman with cold gray eyes, only smiled faintly and took her place in the back. The rest of the human delegation mirrored her stillness, calm, deliberate, emotionless. Like hunters waiting for something, the summit opened with the Emperor of Zrath boasting of his new conquest, the annihilation of a rebel planet. He spoke of planetary bombardment, of cities turned to ash, of purification by fire. The other races clapped politely. The humans did not. When the Council's AI asked for new proposals, the human delegate stood. "We propose an end to preemptive planetary strikes," she said. Her voice was even, almost gentle. "War should have limits." The Zrath Emperor laughed, the sound like grinding stone. "Spoken like prey," he hissed. "You humans hide in the back because you know your place. The strong decide what limits exist." The chamber fell silent. The human simply nodded. "Understood," she said. And sat down again. That night, the Zrath fleet moved against a border world, human territory. It was meant as a lesson. The Emperor's command was clear: show the humans what happens when they forget their place. What happened next became a legend. The Zrath fleet entered human space, and vanished. No signals. No wreckage. No survivors. Just silence. 3 days later, a message arrived at the summit. It was short. A single human voice spoke, "We warned you." Then came the footage. The entire Zrath fleet, hundreds of ships, drifting lifeless. Their systems were fried, their crews frozen in place, not destroyed, not exploded. Disabled. Perfectly, precisely, utterly neutralized. Their weapons melted, their command channels overwritten by a single phrase looping endlessly through the comms. "Sit down and listen." The Council demanded an explanation. The humans simply shrugged. "We prefer peace," their commander said. "But peace doesn't mean weakness." The Zrath Emperor raged, threatening annihilation. But when he ordered his remaining ships to launch, they refused. Their own systems had been compromised. Their nav cores displayed a single human symbol, the insignia of Earth's defense fleet, along with a countdown. The Emperor tried to escape the chamber. He didn't make it. The countdown hit 0, and his entire command ship, light years away, detonated in silent precision. No collateral damage. Just him. The Council stared at the humans in horror. "What have you done?" someone whispered. The human commander rose. "We sat in the back," she said quietly, "because that's where you see everything. The loudest ones make the best targets. We learned long ago, predators who roar too soon end up on someone else's trophy wall." The silence that followed was absolute. No species moved. No one laughed at the humans again. After that summit, the seating chart changed. The humans still sat in the back, but this time, every species made sure to leave that row completely empty, out of respect. or fear, and when new civilizations joined the council, they were warned quietly by their elders, if you ever see the human sitting in the back, don't mistake it for humility. That's where death watches and waits. Rumors spread fast across the galaxy after that day. Entire systems whispered about the back row humans, the silent species who could erase fleets without firing a single shot. The Zrath Dominion, once the most feared power in known space, fractured within months. Half their vassals surrendered to humanity without a fight, begging to join their peacekeeping network. But the humans didn't gloat. They didn't claim territory or demand tribute. Instead, they quietly helped rebuild what had been destroyed. They offered food, medicine, and reconstruction drones. The same hands that could dismantle a war machine could just as easily mend a shattered world. That unsettled the other species even more. Power without arrogance was something they had never seen before. In the next summit, the human delegation arrived earlier than usual. The council chamber fell silent as they walked in. Every seat in the front was offered to them, but they declined again, returning to their familiar place in the back. The same calm eyes, the same composed silence. The same faint smile. A younger species, the insectoid Krall, made the mistake of assuming that humanity's calmness meant disinterest. Their ambassador mocked them publicly, calling them shadows of ancient terrors, claiming that the stories were exaggerated propaganda. The human said nothing, only offered him a polite nod. The next morning, every Krall war drone across 7 sectors powered down simultaneously. No explosions, no casualties, just systems offline. A message blinked on every Krall terminal: do not test legends. We prefer peace. The ambassador resigned the same day. By then, even the council AI had begun to adjust its tone when addressing humans. It prioritized their speech requests, gave them access privileges normally reserved for elder species, and even recalibrated its core ethics matrix around human moral frameworks. It was as though the galaxy itself had started to orbit around their quiet authority. A historian from the Crystalline Ishal Collective once asked the human commander why they always sat in the back. She smiled, leaned forward slightly, and said, because when things go wrong, the front row dies first. The Ishal wrote that line into their cultural archives, classifying it as the law of distance. It became one of the most quoted proverbs in galactic diplomacy. Some species tried to imitate the humans, sitting in the back, speaking little, observing more. But it didn't work. They didn't have the same gravity in their silence, the same calm that comes from holding terrible power in check. They were pretending. The humans weren't. Generations later, when children of a dozen worlds studied galactic history, they learned about the era when the mightiest species ruled through fear, and how that age ended. Not with a war, but with a lesson delivered from the quietest seats in the room. The day the galaxy learned to respect the ones who sat in the back. And still, even centuries later, in every grand chamber, every council hall, and every gathering of leaders, there was always one section left untouched, a row of empty seats at the back, waiting. Just in case the humans decided to attend.